What's going on, guys, and welcome to another video. I apologize, it's been a long time since I've uploaded, but we're getting back into it. We're going to be uploading at least one video every week over on this channel, sometimes more depending if I get the time, but you'll definitely be seeing me once a week. So make sure, if you haven't already, to hit that subscribe button. If you do enjoy Apex Legends content, then make sure you are subscribed, because I'll be pumping out content over here and you want to be notified every time I upload a video. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video, which is going to be the biggest mistake that you make in Apex. So you're going to see some gameplay in the background of this video, and this gameplay is basically going to explain why you make the mistakes that you do and how it could cost you, and basically the gameplay in the background is going to be how you should be playing fights if you don't think you're going to be winning them. So the mistake that I'm going to be talking about in today's video is taking fights at the wrong time. So a lot of the time, people are going to take fights the first time that they interact with an enemy. So whether that be they shoot you, you shoot them, or you just see each other, then you start shooting. That is the time that people will take that fight. No one ever thinks, or a lot of people don't think, to try and reposition themselves if they're in a bad position so that they can win the fight. Because at the end of the day, sometimes you know when you're in a bad position and you know if you're going to lose that fight. So if you know that, why wouldn't you then try and reposition yourself to put yourself in that best position to try and win the fight? And that's what we're going to be talking about today, just to have that awareness to reposition yourself. So if you watch the gameplay in the background, what you'll see is that me and my teammate get split because we've got two teams left. I end up going for one team, he ends up going for another team. Now the reason that I go for the first team is because I know they've got really low shields. I know they've got a lot less shields than I have. So I know that it's probably going to be an easy 1v2, and I can separate them pretty easily because they keep separating themselves, so I know that I can get the finish on them. However, the unfortunate thing happens and my teammate gets knocked by the other team, so it leaves me in a 1v2 situation. Now straight off the bat, I can see that they're on the high ground, I'm on the low ground. And what that leaves is a really, really bad position for me, because they can do head glitches, and when they look down, they're probably going to see my whole body, and I'm just going to get absolutely beamed. So what I try and do in the first place is rotate left around to take the high ground from them and put them on the low ground. But what you'll actually see is they end up rotating towards the circle and just leave me anyway. So it didn't really matter that I rotated, but it's good that I didn't take that fight there, because I just would have instantly lost. I know that them both being on that advantageous high ground is not going to be very good for me. So we end up rotating into the circle to try and find them, and we locate them both. Now straight away I start firing at this Mirage, because I know that his teammate from a Bloodhound scan is down on the right. So it gives me a little bit of a chance to try and crack this Mirage. Now my shots were absolutely terrible, as you've seen, and he takes most of my shields. So I decide to back up, get my shields back up, and then try and take a better position. Now, I know that he's going to be heading up the hill, so I can see this building here, and I decide that I'm going to try and take high ground, so I can try and isolate one of them, get a knock, and make it a 1v1. You'll see that when I do take this high ground, both of the enemies decide to push up and try and fight me. And as you'll see, even though I'm in technically the better position, both of them have got line of sight on me, and both of them are just shooting me every time that I peek. So I know that the chances are, unless I hit some really, 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 really good shots, I'm probably going to lose this fight. So what I decide to do is reposition again. There's no point in me keep peeking the same position, because all I'm going to do is waste through my shields, and then at some point probably one of them is going to push me, and I'm going to have to commit to that fight when I'm not happy about where I am. So I decide to rotate all the way around the right hand side and try and take another position. And my plan is to try and go up this zip line and get behind him and take a bit of height again. But as you'll see, as I'm rotating, the Mirage actually drops on me. So I know that I need to put in a few bullets here to try and get him off me. I do manage to get in a few bullets. He pops his ult, and then he shoots me as I'm trying to reposition again. So I head up the zip line. I do get cracked, so I pop my ult for that little bit of speed boost, and I know I've given myself time to shield back up and get myself in a better position. And the reason I drop back down here is because I know that it's quite a fair drop, and if they dropped after me, they would get that little fatigue when they've dropped, and it'd give me enough time to get my battle. As you can see though, both of them decide to rotate back into the circle again. And the problem I've got now is that I have absolutely zero ammo. So drop the flat line, get the PK, because I know that the fight that I'm going to be taking is probably going to be close range because the circle is closing. Luckily for me, I've got a crafter in the zone, so I decide, you know what, I'm going to craft up some ammo, get myself at least a couple of mags in the Prowler so I can take on this 1v2. So once we've got the ammo, it's time to rotate back into zone. Now we go onto the height, and we try and start making our way into zone. And as soon as we do, we notice that one of the players is on top of the roof here. So if I carried on the zip line, more than likely he's just going to beam me straight off the zip line. So I'm going to need to rotate out on the outskirts of the circle to try and take a position. And as I do, I'm getting shot and nearly get cracked. I managed to get myself to enough cover and far enough away from the enemies where I know I'm going to have time to at least get a bat off before they're on top of me. Now, as I've popped the bat, I can hear the Bloodhound ult go, so I know that one of them is going to be pushing me. The Mirage isn't quite close enough, and the Bloodhound manages to come up behind me. Now, because he's isolated himself, it allows me a clean 1v1, and I managed to get the knock without taking too much damage. And I know the Mirage is going to be pushing me because I've just knocked his teammate. So I managed to get a few bullets off here, and I think he's going to push me because he's nearly cracked me, but for whatever reason, he just decides to hide behind the rock and try and heal. So you know what? If he's healing, I'm healing because he's not going to be pushing while he's healing. He takes a massive swing out. I managed to get some damage off, crack him, and then I just finish him off with a PK. Hopefully what you've seen by this video and by the gameplay that I've been putting on here behind that you've been watching is that you don't always have to take the fight every time that you're shooting. If you think you're in a bad position, or you think that you're going to die, or both enemies are shooting at you and you haven't isolated one of them, then you need to take that position away from them and you need to reposition yourself to get a better position. Every time that you're in a fight, more than likely there is a chance that you can reposition. If you do enjoy today's video and it did help you out, then make sure to drop a like on the video and make sure you've hit that subscribe button before you go out so you can see the next video that we upload on this channel. I appreciate all you guys being here and watching the video. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.